Hello there. Day 14 for an old man on the Pennine Way. Again. Just walking down to the River Tees. Cronkley Scar at the back of me. And Upper Teesdale over there somewhere. Another nice day. So I've got to be at May's Beck at 1 o'clock to meet a colleague from work from 15 years ago now. The first time I've ever had to meet anybody in the hills by a footbridge above Highcup Nick is where I'm going. And I've also got a Google pin if I need it. So I don't want to be late. So this is going to be a bit of a gallop, I think, because I've got a number of photos to recreate on the way. And Roz has just dropped me off and is headed round to Chew Green Reservoir, and she's going to walk down to Colden Snout. And I should be walking up Colden Snout, but almost certainly we won't coincide. Not the white barn you can see, but over a fold in the ground is Widdybank Farm. So I'm heading off into Upper Teesdale, and really it's a gorgeous place because you could feel as if you're in the middle of nowhere. That's Cronkley Scar all the way down there, and the Tees is in that gap ahead. But you could easily fool yourself, you're miles from anywhere. Problem is, I know there's a reservoir around the corner, which rather ruins it. Okay, so I just reached the Tees now. There's Widdybank Farm behind me there, and I'm heading up through that gap where the Tees. I stay by the Tees right until Colden Snout. I've reached Falcon Clints, which are those cliffs up there, and this area of grassland here is called Lingy Home. In 1967 we camped just about here. It's changed a bit. I think the river's been up a fair few times since then, but it was just as we came onto this area of flat grass, there was a nice bit of turf here to put the tent up, and we lit a campfire here. It was about 30 centimetres square. I lined it with stones, took a big stone out in the first place to leave a pit, lined that pit with stones, and lit a fire big enough to cook a meal in our billy cans or mess tins. This place always appealed to me. I always felt I was actually miles from anywhere just here. In those days you had to walk at least 3 miles to get here from any direction. Just round the corner they've built Chew Green Dam, so it's a lot easier to get here now, but it's still a gorgeous place. There's the river in the back, so we had the river the whole night, the sound of the river the whole night. It was a lovely morning. We had porridge in the morning for breakfast, and it couldn't have been better really. And this place always appealed to me. About 30 years ago we were in the Lake District, and we were each saying where our ashes were going to be spread, and I decided mine would be spread just here. And that was fine at the time. There was a certain satisfaction in knowing where you're going to end up. It didn't seem morbid to us at all. The only problem is that Ash's spreading time is getting an awful lot closer now. But I just love this place, absolutely love it. Colden Snout waterfall. Okay, I'm at the top of Colden Snout now. Behind me is Chew Green Dam. When we came in 1967, that wasn't even started. This was an incredibly wild area, miles from anywhere. I think it took them 10 years to get permission to build that dam. I was a water supply person for quite a long time, a lot of my career, wells and boreholes mainly, but I think they should have thought a bit longer about building it myself, because it doesn't belong here. It ruined the whole valley really. Of course, that's just my personal opinion. So I'm well above Colden Snout now, through the farms and heading into Upper Teesdale, and up there is the mine workings of Moss Shop, I think it's called. Behind me, where I've just come from, that's glorious up here. The only problem is this track, because I can remember these ways being grass and turf, and this is actually hard on your feet and ankles. So I've come down to Beck from up the top. There's not a lot of water in Beck, and that's the way to hike up Nick, and there's a path along here. I've got an hour before I have to meet my colleague at the top of Hike Up Nick, so I'm just about on time, I think. I'm afraid you're being filmed. Oh,
Hi Steve.
It's a bit of a slog up there.
Is it?
That's the sill going down there, yeah.
Something happened there, continuing round. Although we're out to cross that, you can see it on the other side.
Done Hike Up Nick and run away down. Looking across, that's the looking out of Hike Up Nick. Maiden Way runs straight across the end here, and we'll meet it again in about 3 days' time up near the Roman Wall. It ends up at Carveran, or Roman Army Museum as it is now. So we're just finishing the downward stretch. That's the valley of the River Eden in front of us, with the Lake District on the far side of it. Is that Blencathra? It's Blencathra up that end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right around there is Blencathra.